So let's rank all the films I've rewatched for the month of September 2021. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name's Doyle, better known to as the Big D. And this time around, I'm going to bring to you another ranking. This time it's going to be the films I rewatched for the month of September 2021. There are 25 flicks here, so I'm going to try and go rapid fire as quick as I can. So please bear with me, okay? I'm not trying to give away too much details. I'm just going to give you a little bit of heads up. Well, you know what I mean. So if you're ready, let's get on with it. Coming in at number 25 is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark from 2019. Now, I actually watched this for the first time earlier this year before I started doing these rankings. And, well, it's good in some ways. It's kind of a mixed bag for me after I watched it the second time. But it's still good. I do like the atmosphere of this here movie, and the characters aren't too bad. I just think some of its scary... Yeah, some of its scary moments were pretty good. I think it was kind of a little freaky, but it's hard to explain on how this movie was. I know it was met with a mixed response and was certified fresh on the tomato meter, but even so, I think Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark isn't too bad of a movie, considering it's based on a book. But overall, it's pretty good. And speaking of book-based movies, coming in at number 24 is Zoom Academy for Superheroes, that is, from 2006. This is factually kind of a guilty pleasure. I know this is a so bad it's good movie for the whole family. Tim Allen, I think, isn't too bad, but I do like the performances from the kids and what have you. Courtney Cox, Chevy Chase. Yeah, they're all pretty good in some ways, but I like them. The kids and why, well, which they weren't too bad. Well, a few of them were okay. Some were the others were pretty good though. Well, it's hard to say, yeah. But anyway, I know this film gets a lot of hate, and I can understand, but this film was pretty funny in ways. So anyway, Zoom, I think it's pretty cool. Well, just because I feel like this is it's an underrated film, and well, I think you know the rest. Now, coming in at number 23 is Bring It On Again from 2003. I finally watched it after I watched all the other direct-to-video sequels to the 2000 movie on IMDb TV, and this finally came on there. Well, after revisiting it, I've realized it's a little better, but still not the best of the franchise. I do like the performances we got, like some of the performances. I mean, it was really cool seeing Brie Turner in this before she played Rosalie on Grimm. Yeah. This movie's okay and all. It's not the best, but Bring It On Again, this is sort of a cheerfully fun flick. Actually, it was released in 2003, but it didn't come to DVD until the following year. So I brought up 2003 and not 2004. So forgive me, everyone. But overall, I did enjoy it a little more than the first time because I had forgotten how some of this movie was absolutely hysterical in various parts, you know. So anyway, that's about it. That's what I can tell you for Bring It On Again. Now, coming in at number 22 is The Man Called Flintstone from 1966. Now, I originally had tried to do a live stream of this not so long ago, and unfortunately it was 9/11 the day it was on, and failed to catch on with an audience, so I stopped that, and well, I just went ahead and watched the other movie I was going to plan to watch along with that. Anyway, this film's pretty underrated. Not many people talk about this movie, but I have. Of course, this is considered the swan song to the Flintstones TV series, which happened to have been canceled that year. Anyway, old Fred Flintstone becomes a secret agent. Well, who, as he is found to be a dead ringer for a secret agent known as Rock Slag. I gotta say, what he does is really something. The Green Goose is a pretty good villain. I like some of the other characters too, including some of the characters we all know from the TV show, etc., etc., etc. Anyway, if you've not seen this movie, I would recommend you check that out. I mean, you can find, if you can't find it on DVD, it is on there. I think you can find it for a reasonable price alone. Or if you can't, get it on the Flintstones 2 movies and 5 special set. That's probably at a reasonable price. I got mine at Walmart last year. I'm pretty sure you can find yours at Walmart. So, The Man Called Flintstone's pretty good. The music's pretty good too. I like some of the songs too. Especially the theme song to the movie. It's really good. And that's The Man Called Flintstone. A prehistoric spy flick you will definitely enjoy. Now, coming in at number 21 is Valentine from 2001. I loved this movie when I had it. This was a guilty pleasure of mine. I know this film kind of got some hate and what have you, and I'm understanding. But like I said, this was a guilty pleasure of mine. I was happy to have seen this again on Tubi because that film was actually the first movie I ever watched when I first visited Tubi. Well, the cast is hit or miss. I mean, with Denise Richards, who I absolutely loved, Marley Shelton, Jessica Capshaw, Katherine Heigl. We also have David Boreanaz from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel in here. Yeah. Incredible. Well, some of the cast was a little bit of, well, you know. But I gotta say, the baddie who wears the Cupid mask was really something. I mean, every time we see the blood come out of the nostril, yeah, that's freaky. But this is kind of more of a mystery type slasher film, like Friday the 13th is, you know, sort of. But Valentine, I feel that film's so underrated, but I love it. Anyway, but that's number 21. Now, coming in at number 20 is Open Season from 2006, which I just more recently did a review of for its 15th anniversary. This, of course, is the first film from Sony Pictures Animation. I feel like this is still a pretty fun movie, with the voices of Martin Lawrence and Ashton Kutcher, Gary Sinise, Deborah Messing, and a host of others. It's pretty good. I liked Boog and Elliot. Yeah, they're an absolute comic team. Now, I haven't seen the direct-to-video sequels. I might give them a try someday, but I can't guarantee you that. Excuse me. But overall, Open Season's kind of a little bit more a hit than a miss, but you don't have to take my word for it. I mean, Sony Pictures Animation would give us some more better flicks than this, you know, in the next few years. So anyway, that's number 20, and coming in at number 19 is The Jetsons Meet the Flintstones from 1987. Now, this was the other film I was supposed to be watching during my Flintstone double feature live stream with The Man Called Flintstone, but because I failed to get any views on that, I canceled it and I watched it while I was doing the Q&A. Well, I'm going to say this was really fun. I mean, it was incredible. I remembered watching this as a little boy. I rented this from a video store and checked it out, and well, I really wanted to see how our favorite Space Age family would get to meet the modern Stone Age family. And I gotta tell you, it's a real clash of the future and the past. That's really something. We got good performances from all the cast members we all know and love from this here, both these series, as long as they were still living, you know. But anyway, this was pretty good. I'd say this is a flick you gotta see. I know I did a review of it, and it got some good views and what have you. It got a lot of good views. So anyway, I think it's so much fun to enjoy. It's just wow. Now coming in at number 18 is Osmosis Jones from 2001. Now, I've only seen this film maybe once or twice. I hadn't watched this film in years. This was the first ever family film which was not rated PG-13 or R rated by the Farrelly brothers after they had given us Dumb and Dumber and There's Something About Mary and Me, Myself, and Irene. Yeah. This was half live action, half animated. We got Bill Murray in this as Frank, this guy who gets all sick and what have you. And we got some pretty good voice acting from Chris Rock, who does the title character. Let's see, Lawrence Fishburne and David Hyde Pierce, who voices Drix, and Brandy, Brandy Norwood, the singer. Yeah. It was all pretty good and what have you. I have seen the spin-off series of this, Ozzy and Drix. I've seen a few episodes of it, not all of them. But anyway, Osmosis Jones, that's kind of a little underrated. And I know this film's just more recently celebrated its anniversary not so long ago. I'll try and make up for lost time and review it sometime down the road. But anyway, Osmosis Jones, it's pretty fun in ways. Now coming in at 17 is Jennifer's Body from 2009. Now, I know this film got a bit of mixed response. I loved Megan Fox in this, of course, after doing the Transformers and then following up with its sequel, Revenge of the Fallen. But anyway, she was absolutely good in this. Amanda Seyfried was pretty good. It's just most of the other characters weren't too bad, but this film was just so twisted. It's a real dark comedy horror flick, in my opinion. It's absolutely crazy, but kind of freaky though in ways. Yeah. But even so, it was fun though after I watched it. And I watched the theatrical cut. I know Prime had both theatrical and unrated versions. I didn't want to take a chance with the unrated version. No offense. It probably did have just a few slight changes, but I just decided to watch the theatrical version instead. Sorry. But still, it ended up being just fine. Thank you. Now, coming in at number 16 is Gus from 1976. Now, this film's easily an underrated Disney flick in my book. I mean, since I got the Don Knotts 4-movie collection, I've watched this a few times, and this film's absolutely funny. I think you should check this movie out. I've already reviewed this, considering it just celebrated its anniversary not so long ago. It recently turned 45, as a matter of fact. You can see the movie on Disney Plus, if you've got that. I'm sure a lot of y'all have Disney Plus, and I think you should check this out. It's about this guy who brings his mule to the U.S. who becomes a big star in the NFL. And boy, yeah, really something. Gary Grimes is really good. Don Knotts, the late great Ed Asner is pretty good. Tim Conway and what was that? Oh yeah, Tom Bosley, who are the bad guys. They're really funny, especially when they try to confront Gus in the supermarket. I know it was kind of lengthy in some parts, but hey, who cares? It was pretty darn funny and what have you. Yeah, check this out. It's absolutely funny. If you really want a funny football flick that came way before The Water Boy or maybe the second Air Bud movie, you're going to definitely want to check out Gus. It's pretty good. Now, coming in at number 15 is I Still Know What You Did Last Summer from 1998. Love this movie. I mean, while it might not have gotten as much good like as its predecessor, but still, it had much better kills than what we got in its predecessor. We got good performances. I love Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yeah, J Love, Freddie Prinze Jr., Brandy, Mekhi Phifer in one of his first few movies, Matthew Sell. Yeah, incredible. Yeah, and I really liked how it took place on an island resort where it really becomes a gore fest and what have you. We also have several others. Even Jack Black appears in this, although he's uncredited, but you'll know him when you see him if you haven't seen the movie. I think this film is just a little underrated, but I still love it though. So consider that a guilty pleasure of mine. Now coming in at number 14 is Jeepers Creepers from 2001. Now, I will be reviewing this next month for Spooktacular October. I mean, since it celebrated its anniversary just not so long ago. Yeah. I gotta say, this film's pretty good. I mean, we got Gina Phillips, Justin Long, and Patricia Belcher. I like Jonathan Breck as the Creeper, our title character. Man, this character's so scary. Yeah. And Victor Salva's direction was pretty good. I mean, it was just so shocking. The inside of that, the basement of that church, that old church. Oh boy, that was really freaky. Now I do have it on video, but it's locked up. So thank goodness for Tubi, they had it. I revisited it. I haven't revisited 2 yet. I know that film's kind of a mixed bag. And before you ask, no, I haven't seen Jeepers Creepers 3 yet, and I'm not sure if I want to. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all said you don't like that one. And I've heard they're planning to do another one, which is, I think, yeah, they're planning to do a Jeepers Creepers Reborn, which is sort of a continuation of the second movie. So that's factually reasonable. So I'll hope for the best that we will get this real soon, okay? So Jeepers Creepers, yeah, pretty good. Now coming in at number 13 is Predator 2 from 1990. Now, I know this film's kind of underrated in ways, but I still thought it was pretty good in ways. And the film was directed by Stephen Hopkins, who had directed Nightmare on Elm Street 5 the previous year. Well, I hate to break it to y'all, I think I'd rather watch this over that anytime, but I don't have it, so I'm stuck with Nightmare 5. But anyway, it does have a pretty good, reasonable cast that includes Danny Glover, Gary Busey, and Kevin Peter Hall. And let me tell you, this is just, whoa. I mean, the Predator starts stalking in, let me see. I'm not... Oh yeah, in LA, yeah, and takes place 10 years after the events of the first film, which we'll see where that winds up. I'm gonna say this film, like I said, is underrated. It's just, wow, so shocking in some parts. But it's still a pretty good sequel overall. Now, coming in at number 12 is I Know What You Did Last Summer from 1997. Yeah, I love this movie. J-Love, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Ryan Philippe, Freddie Prinze Jr., they're all good in this movie. I have to say, this is just a pretty darn good movie. Now, I have seen a preview of the new Amazon Prime series that's going to be coming up next month, but I can't guarantee I'll watch it, though. I mean, it does look pretty interesting, but I don't know, though. Anyway, I love this movie. It's just so suspenseful. I mean, I wish some of the kills could be a little bit better and what have you, like they were in the follow-up movie, but nevertheless, I kind of do find it pretty suspenseful, like what I get from films from before this, like Halloween or Psycho, or heck, later films like Valentine, for example. But anyway, I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's a good horror suspense flick. I do love it. Now, coming in at number 11 is Evan Almighty from 2007. Now, as much as I loved Bruce Almighty, I love this just as much. I mean, Steve Carell does an exceptionally good job in playing his character of Evan from Bruce Almighty. And this time he's trying to become run for congressman, and he gets contacted by God to create an ark. And I actually like that. It's really something. I mean, Morgan Freeman returns as God, and let me tell you, he does a good job, just like he did in Bruce Almighty. We got good performances from several other cast members: Lauren Graham, Johnny Simmons, heck, even John Goodman, Wanda Sykes, even. Yeah, I definitely should review this sometime down the road, but I gotta review Bruce Almighty first. Even so, Evan Almighty's pretty good. This is among one of my absolute favorite Steve Carell movies of all time. I love it. Especially when all those animals come barging in. That's incredible. I mean, when they come barging in, I think this is better than what we saw in Ace Ventura. The first one, that is. But anyway, Evan Almighty, it's fine. I love it. Alright, here's the top 10 coming in at number 10 is Armageddon from 1998. Now, it's been years since I last saw this movie. This film's pretty long. It could just use a little trimming, but I'll explain about it when I do a review of it down the road. This film was directed by Michael Bay long before he did the Transformers movies. You know, the rest. With a pretty good cast that included Bruce Willis, Billy Bob Thornton, Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, etc., 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 etc. I gotta say, this was another good film from Jerry Bruckheimer Productions after they had already done some other good flicks before this, like The Rock and Con Air. Yeah. But I gotta say, this was just wow. It was just so incredible, but it was just so cool that these guys had to try and save this world from this here big asteroid. That was incredible. And of course, I got the soundtrack to the film, which includes Aerosmith's Monster Hit, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, plus lots of other songs as well. Yeah. I especially loved one of the fun moments was when some of the guys who were about to go up on the ship were singing that old song, leaving on a jet plane. Yeah, I like the version you hear in the movie soundtrack done by Canadian singer Chantal Kreviazuk. Yeah, that film's really something, and the music's really good. You know the rest. That's Armageddon for you. Now, coming in at number 9, which this is probably going to be a controversial pick. Coming in at number 9 is House of Wax from 2005. Now, please don't hate me for having this in the top 10. I feel this film's pretty underrated, and I've only seen this maybe twice already, but now make it 3 because I watched it on Tubi. This, of course, is a remake, and I have seen the original before. Anyway, now this is really something, and I think that's what I thought. I should point out the film's directed by the same guy who would later direct Orphan, which we'll see where that winds up on the ranking. This film's just so underrated, and I think it's pretty cool that it's a slasher and what have you. With Alicia Cuthbert was pretty good. Chad Michael Murray, Brian Van Holt did a dual role. We have John Abrahams, Jerry Padalecki, you know him as Supernatural. Let's see, Robert Richard, you know of TV's One-on-One. And of course, everyone's favorite hotel heiress herself, Miss Hilton. Yes, Paris Hilton, of course. Yeah, she wasn't too bad. I'd much rather watch her on The Simple Life, though. But even so, the cast was reasonable, and most of the cast was good, and some were reasonable, etc., etc., etc. So the kills were pretty good. A few of them were, but anyway, some of it's corny and dialogue moments were a little. I'll review this sometime down the road. But House of Wax, it's from 2005. It's not too bad once you give it a try. Now coming in at number 8 is Daredevil from 2003. Now, the only reason I showed you that picture was that was the version I watched, the special director's cut, which I thought was much better than what we got in the theatrical cut. I mean, I did see some of the director's cut blending in with the theatrical flick when FX aired it. But anyway, this film is just so underrated. I mean, I like how it is in ways, but I think the director's cut is so much more cooler. We got Ben Affleck as the title character, Jennifer Garner as Elektra. I was going to rewatch Elektra, but I turned it down. I mean, even though Amazon did have the director's cut of that one, but it's at the hell with it. Colin Farrell as Bullseye, not too bad. Michael Clark Duncan as Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin. Reasonably good in some ways. I know everybody didn't quite care for him, but oh well. I just think this is just so cool and what have you. I recommend you watch the director's cut if you happen to encounter it. I mean, if you've already seen the theatrical cut, good. Watch the director's cut next. You won't be disappointed. It was just so much more cooler and more action-packed. Enough said. Now coming in at number 7 is Predator from 1987. Love this movie. Definitely one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger films. I have watched this numerous times and it's really cool. It's a sci-fi action horror flick, and well, you know the rest. I will be reviewing this film next year for its anniversary, so please don't be mad that I haven't reviewed this one just yet. But it's really awesome. Liked how the story turns out. This alien bounty hunter goes after these commandos on a rescue mission. Yeah, really something. Carl Weathers is pretty good. I mean, a lot of the other members of the cast are good. We get to see Shane Black, who would go on to direct Iron Man 3 and The Predator in 2018. Jesse Ventura is in this. Yeah, he recently did an episode of Small Wonder before this. Yeah, he was in the episode Wally the Wimp. Look that episode up if you don't believe me, okay? Just for the fun of it. But Predator is an awesome film. I think it's cool, it's got good action, and you know the rest. Now coming in at number 6 is Orphan from 2009, which I recently did a live stream of. I love this movie. This film is so good. As I mentioned, this film was directed by the same guy who directed House of Wax. I love the performances. Everyone was pretty good. Vera Farmiga, Peter Sarsgaard wasn't too bad. CCH Pounder. Let's see. I like the kids in this. Well, Max, the deaf girl, was pretty good. But anyway, it was Isabel Fuhrman as Esther who really stole the show. I really loved her performance in it. It was so incredible. I'm hoping for the best we'll get that prequel film to this. They say they're planning to do it, and Isabel Fuhrman's going to be involved in it. So we'll hope for the best that this will take the flight. But this film is just so suspenseful and wow. It almost kind of does remind me of films like The Omen or The Good Son. Yeah. Only involves a girl. Alright, top 5 coming in at number 5 is Halloween 2 from 1981. Now, I was originally going to exclude this and its predecessor from this list, as pre-October watch, but I just thought the hell with. I figured maybe it would be better if I try to do something different for next month. I'm gonna try and plan to do a spooktacular rewatches ranking and exclude horror flicks from the rewatches, except for the first times. Okay, so spooktacular rewatches will be go. Okay, promise. But anyway, I love this film. I mean, while Michael Myers looks more different, the mask looks different, it's still okay. Kills were just a little better in some ways. Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasence, they were both good. A lot of the cast wasn't too bad. Rick Rosendahl, does an okay job in directing. But the way Michael Myers moves when he's going after Laurie in the hospital, not really that great. But overall, the ending's pretty shocking. But anyway, that's all I can tell you. Halloween 2, 1981, pretty good. I look forward to seeing Halloween Kills when it comes next month. I look forward to it. Now coming in at number 4 is Frankenstein from 1931. Now, I have seen this movie before, but it's been a long time. But I gotta say, this film is just so good after I revisit it. Yeah. Boris Karloff does an exceptionally good job in playing the monster himself. We've got Colin Clive, May Clark. Yeah. Really good. James Whale's direction was pretty good, as he would do for some of the other, a few other Universal monster flicks. But anyway, I will be reviewing this for Spooktacular October next month, just a month early before its anniversary this November. So, be on the lookout for that. I know you'll be wanting to see me do some older movies. I mean, since I've already reviewed The Wizard of Oz and A Star is Born and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which were the original oldest movies I saw until I saw this. And the next film on my ranking, which coming in at number 3 is Dracula, also from 1931. Yes, the first ever Universal monster flick. Really good movie. I had forgotten I had watched this before. I originally on the first time watched this, but soon I stopped and remembered I did see this movie before. And I gotta say, it's good, and I love Bela Lugosi as Drac himself, Helen Chandler, David Manners, Dwight Fry. Yeah, they were all pretty good. I am reviewing this next month as well, so Dracula is easily a very good, scary flick from long ago. This was just so incredible. So, anyway, Dracula, I think it's pretty good. So now I hope you'll be happy that I'm doing an actual scary type of vampire flick, since I've already reviewed the Twilight franchise and Blackula. So I do hope you're ready for it, for Dracula when he comes around, because he's number 3. And coming in at number 2 is The Bride of Frankenstein from 1935. Love this movie. I finally took the time to watch this after seeing the clip from it in Bride of Chucky. Boris Karloff is back as the monster. Colin Clive is back. Yeah. Anyway, this was really something. And I love this just as much as the first one. Don't get me wrong, you don't have to take my word for it. But The Bride of Frankenstein is definitely good. And yes, I'm going to plan to review this as well next month. So I do hope you look forward to that one too. But anyway, it was kind of rather disappointing not that we don't know who played the bride, though. It just remained with a question mark at the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie. Oh well. But still, it's pretty good, though. And finally, coming in at number 1. My number 1 rewatch of September is John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978, The Night He Came Home. Love this movie. You will see this on the rewatch. the spooktacular rewatches ranking and not the rewatches for next month, okay? I thought that would only be fair, so that way I don't have to include, Okay, enough said about that. But this film, no one had to talk about it much. Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasence. Oh, everyone was really good. I loved it. John Carpenter's direction was good. The score was good. Everything was good in this film. You don't have to take my word for it, though. But hey, I love it. Now, I'm planning to re-review this and the original Halloween 2 next month. Even though it's going to be after Halloween Kills comes out. But bear with me. Because I am going to just try and re-review those two and Halloween H2O, alright? Since the latter two didn't get that many views the first time. So I'm going to try and get a little payback. So anyway, the original Halloween is my number 1 rewatch of September 2021. So what do you think of this ranking? You can tell me what you thought about this in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button below. Subscribe to my channel and be a part of the Big D Nation. And stay tuned for the next episode of the Wide World of Game Shows for Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. Thank you for watching, and if you like this, you may want to check out these other videos I have done. In the upper left-hand corner is the review I did for the original Crocodile Dundee from 1986, which celebrated its 35th anniversary not so long ago. In the upper right-hand corner is my review for one of the films I mentioned earlier, Open Season, which turned 15 recently. Or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my ranking of the first-time watches for September 2021. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.